What's going on? This is Will from Never Behind, and look at this shit. God, these motherfuckers. I don't know how this has to play in with what I'm going to talk about today, because I mean, all the way around right now is just chemtrail dust, but obviously we know. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, they're perfectly scarring it up over here. Fresh ones being laid, and that's all dust you're looking at. And then obviously they always do it in front of the sun. And everybody's favorite douchebag, Elon Musk, talking about we're going to use AI to block out the sun. Well, fuck you. Today's going to probably be a little bit more vulgar or aggressive or vitriolic, whatever word you want to use. But woke up, you know, it's a beautiful day, and then all of a sudden you come outside and it's, let me make sure this is on follow. All of a sudden you come outside and it's a fucking shit show of chemicals just being laid. Man, the fact that people can look up and see that and it doesn't cross their mind to ask, well, what is that? Hold on a second. There, that should be good enough. Well, what is that? These are some beautiful clouds, huh? No. You're breathing in what we know about aluminum, strontium, barium, other nanoparticles, nanometals, plastics, whatever it is. And now we have them talking about, whenever they mention something, right? Oh, we want to use AI to block out the sun. Whenever they mention something, they're already fucking doing it. They have been spraying chemtrails for decades and decades and decades. They've been altering the weather for a lot longer than even the people that are in this so-called community, right? A lot longer than we even know about. They are in it. And they've been spraying. And the fact that people can look up, I mean, the way I learned about chemtrails was back in the, let's see here, when I moved to Jacksonville, Florida. 2011, I was at work and I was walking across campus and I looked up and I saw what I just showed you, all of these straight lines, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Because obviously clouds don't do that. Planes don't do that. They leave contrails, little small trails that disappear. So I went home, I typed in on my computer, and then I figured out what it was. And I was horrified, because how could this be allowed? How could we allow this? Which this takes me into what I wanted to talk about today. How could this be happening? Well, when you talk to an old timer, someone in their 60s and above, right? 70s and above, and they have been confronted with, or you talk to them about what is going on, and it registers just how bad it's going to be for their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and humanity at large, what do you often hear? You hear the phrase, well, at least I'll be dead. I won't have to deal with it. Oh, thank God I'll be gone by then. Oh, that's why America's getting so bad. That's why I'm going to cash out and I'm going to fucking move to, you name the Southeast Asian country, or, Ecuador or Costa Rica or wherever, somewhere beautiful and somewhere cheaper. Right? This is what you hear. And there could not be a more disgusting, self-centered, evil, immoral statement uttered by a human being than that. You've lived your whole life. You have lived a comfortable life for the most part, most of these people. You're on your first home, second home. You might have a vacation home, a timeshare. You have your nice cars. You have your camper van, whatever, right? You lived your whole life for a paycheck and your creature comforts, and you never once gave a fuck about what was going on in the world. And so we're going to talk about that today, because I keep hearing people dealing with this, and I've dealt with it in my own life, and you hear people say these things. And if they're older, they say what I just said. They say, oh, at least I'll be dead by then. Well, listen here, you piece of shit. It's your fault that we are dealing with what we're dealing with, because this shit didn't just happen yesterday. It's been a slow progression every year. And it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat president or a Republican president or a conservative party in whatever country or a liberal party in whatever country. It's the same progression. So that right there destroys this illusion of the two-party system. Get fucked. There's no two-party system. If there were, when the party that's good would come into power, they would take away all of the tyranny and all of the evil that was put in place by the bad party, right? No, but every year it's a slow march toward complete and utter total enslavement. And you have all of these old timers in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh, at least I'll be dead soon. Well, not 50s. Fuck, I mean, I'm 41, right? So not 50s. They might not say that just yet. But 60s, 70s, and 80s, for sure, they're starting to say that. Oh, at least I'll be dead. Well, you're a piece of shit, you know? Because you have kids, and you have grandkids, and you had a comfortable life because you didn't care. Because you believed in evil, you supported evil, you believed in politicians, right? Or even if you didn't, even if you were apolitical or agnostic or whatever, there's the whole phrase of, you don't have to take an interest in politics, but politics is going to take an interest in you. Which is another way of saying you can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences from avoiding reality. You will always reap what you sow in this life. And if you pursue nothing but materialism, you will be owned. And if you're not owned, if your soul's not owned, your freedom will be owned. If you ignore what's taking place, evil will flourish. Which is why this whole idea of think on a higher frequency, bro. Just meditate your way onto a different realm, bro. No, you're ignoring evil, which means evil flourishes. You have to learn about it, understand it, and address it. And if you don't address it, it grows. And it has been growing without any pushback for decades upon decades. And it's going to continue to grow. Why? Because the masses, like the elderly of today, say, who gives a fuck? I'm comfortable in my life now. I have my car and my house, even though I can barely afford to do anything. But I'm comfortable now, and I'm not worried about it. And the reason why I wanted to come on here today is because, one, I keep hearing stories about people hearing older folks say these phrases to them. Oh, I don't care. I'll be dead. I've heard it too, and it's disgusting. Which is why, for many years, I've been saying this idea of respecting your elders is one of the biggest lies in history. Because it doesn't matter if you're 15, 25, 45, or 85. You must be an honorable, respectable person to be respected. I don't give a shit how many decades you've lived. If you're not a good person, you're not a good person. And so if you've lived your whole 7, 8, 9 decades and all you've cared about was yourself, sorry to say, you're not a good person. Just because you believe in whatever religion you believe in doesn't make you a good person. Because you've done nothing in the face of evil. You've not asked any questions about what's going on here. And the end result is this. The end result is this. And so when I wake up and I see this, and then I take in what's going on in Western civilization right now with another woman being murdered and more stabbings and more killings of immigrants or black on white violence, and nobody cares. None of these people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s have ever done anything, 50s, have ever done anything to stop it. Never have even spoken out against it. This is what I wake up with, and I have this righteous indignation, this fury inside of me that just wants to do horrible things, to be honest, to these people that don't give a shit. Like, I wish I could just take all of them, pack them up in the biggest plane possible, and just do plane after plane and get them the fuck away. And the people that actually care about being human, the people that actually care about freedom, objective morality and objective truth, we can live together in this beautiful fucking realm, and we can send all of these materialistic, apathetic, narcissistic piece of shits that don't care about anything but themselves, and we can send them off to go fucking have a nice little circle jerk somewhere and God knows where, who gives a shit, right? Because it's to the point of, we are facing, in the next 10 years, life will be so unrecognizable due to AI, which I've been taking a lot of time to learn about lately. And just how bad it's going to be. Because we have, you think about regular AI, and then AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then super intelligence. And within the decade, almost all human jobs will be gone. Almost every human job will be gone, including driving jobs. That could be gone easily. They already have self-driving cars. They just have to keep refining that, right? So the biggest profession in the world, you think about Uber and Lyft and taxi drivers and truck drivers and FedEx and UPS and all these things, right? Delivery drivers. Why pay a driver when you have a driver or a driverless car that or driverless truck that can do it for you? And all they have to do is keep refining that. All jobs, whether it's teaching, whether you're a professor, whether you're a paralegal or a lawyer, whether you're an accountant, any type of computer job, graphic engineer, graphic designer, web designer, all of it, gone. Why would you pay, high-end salaries or six-figure salaries to a human when you can have a computer do it for little to no cost? And they're there. You think, and the thing is like, oh, we need to put in AI safety and protocols and slow it down, and we got to make sure the people in charge aren't really trying to just destroy humanity. You got to realize who's in charge here. Who is Sam Altman? Who is Larry Ellison? Palantir? Who are these people? And what are their belief systems? Who do they owe their allegiance to? Oh, that's right, they're all fucking Zionists. Oh, so what does that mean? I've talked about that plenty of times here, and let's just say it again. That group of people, Zionists, Jews, believe that Amalek, which is me, which is if you are if you are European blood, a European ancestry, Western civilization, Christianity, Amalek must be destroyed and wiped clean off this realm. Even the memory must be erased for their Messiah to come back. So we know that's their end goal. That's their belief, right? So you can trace that back to what's going on now and what has been going on in Western civilization, and we can see that they are well on their way in succeeding that. The world population of European people is what? 7%. But yet our countries are being flooded with Latinos and Mexicans and Asians and Africans and Middle Easterns because they are and they are considered minorities. Wait a second. There's 1 billion Indians over in India. They have their own country and culture. You can say that about every Asian. You can say that about the Middle Easterns. They all have their own countries and their own cultures. And there's more of them than there are of Europeans, but yet when they come to our country, they are considered minority when we are in fact a minority of this world. And we are dropping year by year. How is that possible? Infertility rates, how is that happening? Look into it. Who's pushing it? Who's pushing for people to not have children because of quote unquote global warming and because making things too expensive? Who is behind that? It's the same people that control the AI. It's the same people that control allopathic medicine and education and that control all of the fucking Western governments. It's just simple pattern recognition. And this isn't to say that I believe that these people are at the top of the top. I think that they are near there. But there's people or entities that are above them that we don't know about. We don't know their names. We don't even know if they are from this realm. I have my own theories on that. You think about all the different stories of the Anunnaki and Enki and Enlil and, you think of Romulus and Remus and you think of all of these different stories. And then you think of the fact, why is Antarctica blocked off the way that it is and all of the architecture and the timelines and all that. And then you think of all the different maps that have been produced over the years and how the land masses are missing and all of these things, right? So you can develop your own theory. Do we know the truth? Will we ever know the full truth? Maybe when we pass this realm. Maybe those of us that actually gave a shit to ask questions, we will be rewarded by God by giving the truth of what we are dealing with here. But I can sure shit tell you, and I know for a fact, and I know in every fiber of my being, that those that are at the end of their life, which they shouldn't be, because we should be living much longer than 80 years, 60 years, 70 years, right? But people are dying earlier and earlier, and hey, let's not ask questions about that either. But those that are leaving, and then when they're confronted with the reality of what we're dealing with, and they say things like, at least I don't have to deal with it, I won't be here. You won't get to know shit. Your spirit will suffer because you have fucked your family and your ancestors and your fellow brothers and sisters of humanity with your apathy, with your willing ignorance, and your addiction to comfort, and the illusion of security that you had with your 1, 2, 3 houses, and you're a snowbird, and so you live in beautiful New England in the summertime, and then the wintertime you're down in Florida, and you got a camper van, and you live this very comfortable life, all while not giving a shit that all of humanity was being fucked. That the tyrannical the enslavement systems were being put in place, that humanity was getting dumber and dumber each year, getting sicker and sicker each year, and you never gave a shit. Sorry, I need to go drive. I need to go drive around in my new car, my new Lexus. Sorry, I need to go to my country club. Sorry, I'm too busy scrolling through my phone. And it's the same, it's not just the elderly, right, that are saying these things. People my age in their 40s have said it. I've had people in my circle and previously in my 30s and 20s. What can we do about it? Who cares? I have nothing to hide. All of these statements. You are condemning all of humanity with your lack of care. And that's what makes you human, is the ability to care and to take action, whether that's living consciously, learning about natural law and objective morality and objective truth and living in accordance with that, going through your own emotions and that horrible process of introspection and shadow work of accepting your family for what they really are, admitting the truth about your parents or your grandparents or your family. It's horrible work. It's horrible work. It's depressing and it's sad and it's fucking terrible, but you can't progress as a human being. You can't evolve as a human being unless you do it. And the end result of not caring is the destruction of humanity. And that's what we're dealing with, to the point of dealing with this. I mean, there's another fresh one being sprayed right here. I mean, look at this. It's been so bad lately. So bad. And there's some beyond over, you can't even see them over there, right? And there's fresh ones being sprayed. But look at these guys over here. You got a couple horses over here. You got 1, 2, 3 of them. I think there's 4. I think there's another one laying down. But it's just hard, you know? It's just hard waking up some days and seeing the destruction of what's going on, learning about what they're really doing with AI, and that the fact that within the decade, this world would be unrecognizable. I think maybe within 5 years. If they let AGI get fully released, fully just let it loose, most jobs will be gone. Most jobs will be gone. And people identify with their jobs. When you ask someone, "Oh, who are you?" "Oh, I'm a teacher. I'm a plumber. I'm an electrician. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor. Whatever." That's who they think they are. It's not who you are. That's not you. That's a job. That's a role. That's how you make fiat currency in the slave system. That's not who you are. Who you are is, you have to ask the question, how much of me is me? And then you have to figure out who you are at a spiritual level. What makes you, you? There's plenty of doctors, plenty of lawyers, plenty of teachers, plenty of electricians, plenty of drivers. That doesn't make you, you. That's something you do. You know, it's that whole idea of meaning has been borrowed, right? For most human beings, the meaning of their life has been borrowed. And it can be taken at any moment because they've given meaning to things that are not them. Their job, you know, relationships, being dependent on relationships to make you feel a certain way, to make you feel happy or safe or secure, or to make you feel funny or pretty or whatever it is, the constant validation from other human beings to make you feel something. But all of these things could be taken away at a moment. Your job, your car, your house, your life. So if you don't know who you are and you're not living truthfully to who you are, you're not speaking the way that you want to speak, you're not behaving the way you want to behave because you're afraid of judgments or you're afraid of what others might think of you or whatever it is. Obviously you do that civilly sometimes, but that's who you are. What makes you feel alive? For me, it's talking about what's going on in the world. When I don't do this, and I didn't do it, like I did it throughout the COVID years, and then I took a break and I was just like learning more shit, different rabbit holes, right? But when I'm not doing this, I feel lesser than, because I'm not doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing. This makes me feel alive. Writing, being creative, doing things with, you know, either pen or paper or on the laptop, whatever, being creative, it makes me feel alive. Going to the gym, fitness is a huge part of my life, and it's not from the Instagram fucking bullshit version of it where I'm filming myself and taking selfies and all that. No, it's pushing my body as I get older as hard as I can, to where I'm straining to lift the weights, or I'm straining to keep running, or hold, doing farmer's walks, or whatever it is. That makes me feel alive. That's something that I need to feel alive. That makes me me. That makes me feel like me. Just I don't give a fuck about my job, in the sense that it's not me, right? Because if I were to leave my job, they would just fill that position with the next person. So in that sense, I care about it, and I've always worked hard, and I work hard at everything that I do. As far as my work life and the things that I do, I always put as much as I can into it, because that's just my disposition. I feel bad if I don't do that. But our jobs are not who we are. You leave your job as a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever it is, they fill you with the next person, right? Doesn't matter if you're a teacher, it doesn't matter what you are not your job, which means you need to make your life mean something for you in your heart, with who you truly feel that you are. You need to do that outside of work. It is vitally important for your spiritual health and your mental health to do that. You do not slave away at a job because you are not your job. They will replace you tomorrow, and it doesn't matter. You might be remembered in memory and discussions by the people that you worked with for a little while, but in a very short amount of time, you will be forgotten at your job, right? But what your spirit takes and grows and it evolves from the knowledge that you take in, and from actually making it feel alive, that you take with you for all time, which is when you get into the idea of reincarnation and and race memory and knowledge that's passed down through incarnation, that you take with you through all time. But if your entire life has been spent identifying with a role, with a job, and making materialistic gain, that you learn nothing while you're here. Because guess what? Evil flourished and you said nothing. Evil flourished. You reached 90 years of age and you never learned a fucking thing. And that is the saddest existence that I could think of. And that's some days when I wake up and I see the chemtrails like this, right? Then I get a couple stories of more, white people being raped or murdered, and nothing's going on, and more slavery and more AI and more surveillance, right? More people talking about how Trump's going to save the world. And sometimes my righteous indignation and my fury is just burning. And I just want to fucking flip off, give the finger to anyone and everyone that thinks like that. Like, you're an asshole. You're a piece of shit. How can you not care about what's going on in the world and you think you're a good person? Doesn't mean you have to make videos, but you need to be talking about it. You can be writing about it. You could be posting about it. You could be in chat forums about it. Something. You have to be doing something. You can't know about what's going on and pretend that you don't. There's no unknowing this, right? There's no unlearning the truth of our world. And there's no going back. That's the whole idea of, I've never met a single person that has researched vaccines, vaccine history, ingredients, and that has come out on the other side. Well, I know all that now, but I don't give a shit. I'm still going to do it. That has never happened, and it will never happen. Anyone that researches that topic always comes out the other side as that is one of the most evil things that humanity has ever been taken part of, because of what's taking place inside those needles and what it does to the body and the health of the spirit. Rudolf Steiner said it. Humanity will be divorced from its spirit through medicine. And he was 100% correct. That's what those injections have always been about. Because when you're sick and when you're chronically ill and you're dumbed down through the formaldehyde and the polysorbate 80 and the peanut oils and the foreign DNA and the animal DNA and the aborted babies their DNA that's in the injections, the detergent, the nanometals. When you're poisoned like that, you don't have access to being your full self. So it's the same thing. There's no unlearning things, right? There's no unlearning. So if you know what's going on, you can't pretend that you don't. It's there, and your spirit knows. So you got to talk about it in some form or fashion. Man, my heart. I do know that today's workout's going to be good because I'm fired up. Very fucking fired up, because I keep hearing people telling stories about they're overhearing old timers talk, or myself, seeing this as well, and all these old timers talk, well, at least I'm not going to be here. At least I'll be gone. At least I got to live a nice, comfortable life, and I don't have to deal with all of the chaos and the slavery and the AI and the takeover of absolute tyranny. At least I won't be here for that. The fuck you won't. One, you're a piece of shit for thinking like that, and the fuck you won't have to deal with it. Your spirit is going to suffer. Doesn't matter if you believe in whatever religion you have. That's not the way those man-made religions work. Your spirit is going to be held accountable for your lack of care. And you will be sent to either back to this realm to suffer with that which you caused, or you'll be sent to a different realm where it's fucking miserable. Because you don't get to live an entire human existence and not care and think you're going to be rewarded at the end because you believed in some man-made book that's been edited thousands of times, that was put in place by the very people that want you to be enslaved. How many Christians do you know that actually live the way Jesus said to live? Going against central banking and the bankers, going against government, going against organized religion. How many Christians believe that? Act like that? An esoteric Christian. How many? Next to fucking none. That's how many. How many Muslims are actually following what they say? A lot, actually. I guess you could say a lot, because guess what? They're taking over the fucking all of Europe pretty much. We're in a world of hurt. We're in a world of hurt, man. If you start learning really what's going on with this AI and just what it's going to be capable of and how soon they're going to be able to release it, in my personal opinion, I believe they have it. I believe AGI is ready, and they are just waiting to they have enough things set in place to have UBI, universal basic income. And then they'll have their central bank digital currencies and all that. But whenever they mention things like this, you already know they have it. So AGI is ready. And the way that it's growing, it's like, I heard this one safety expert talking about it. It's like, when you think of the new iPhone, when you think of the iPhone, you know that there's going to be a new one in about a year, and you can roughly expect what's going to be involved. Might be a few more apps, but it's going to be a better camera, but pretty much the same phone, right? And that's a year's time, whatever take it is. I don't use iPhone, so I don't know. But I know that they make new ones all the fucking time. But with AI, it's literally almost every fucking day it's getting better and stronger and more in depth with its capabilities, to the point of we can't even fathom what it's doing. And when it reaches artificial general intelligence, and it's just repairing itself and building itself stronger, where it has systems in different parts of the internet learning things and then sharing it across, so it's just growing and growing and growing, right? And then the idea of superintelligence, there's absolutely no need for human beings in that world. And you think of the Matrix, right, where you just have human beings used as batteries. We're in a world of hurt the way we're going. And human beings derive meaning from their jobs, right? So what do we do with a population of people that their entire identity is set up in going to work and doing that job? Because very few people have internal motivation, have intrinsic self-knowledge of who they are and that they're fine. Like I'm totally fine, and I do this all the time. I will walk for hours and hours and hours and just be in nature. Don't give a shit. That's what I love to do. I don't need to be clocking in somewhere to feel like I'm contributing to something. I have hobbies and I have interests and I have passions in life, and that can keep my entire day busy. But there's only so much doom scrolling that the masses will be able to do. There's only so much virtual realities. They will just get lost in virtual reality, and they will get lost in synthetic foods and drugs, and that will be that. And that's the way humanity is going to go out. Is it going to go out with a fight, or is it going to go out with a little silent whimper? I don't know, but definitely on one today. As soon as I woke up and I saw those chemtrails, I said I knew what the fuck I'm going to talk about today, because I'm trying to do one of these every Sunday. I also post things on Instagram from here, now and again. But things are getting rough. And I just, I talk with people. I just talked with my brother about this the other day, a couple days ago, and we both said the same thing. People have no idea what the fuck's coming with this AI takeover. The masses have no clue. And none of the younger kids are being prepared. These kids that are 14-year-olds now, when they get out of college at 24, if they even go, for what? What jobs are they going to do, right? What jobs are they going to do? You got Gates and Musk talking about blocking out the sun. They're already doing it, you know? And just like I talked in my last video, and the fact that men and women just can't get along anymore. I don't see how we have the strength to come together to stop it. And what we need to do, and what I really need to get better at, which is kind of another reason why I started making these videos, is to meet up with like-minded people, right? Wherever you are, to build a small, very tight-knit community that is sharing values and principles, and they understand what's going on in the world, and they are trustworthy men and women that you can live with and have a little, pretty much a compound, right? And to be able to stand with each other when things get rough, because we're not going to be able to do this individually. That's the truth. You can remain an individual, right? But you can be part of a group. And I've said this numerous times, I'm not going back on what I believe. I don't believe parallel societies are ever going to work. I don't believe anything like that. But if enough people stand up, we need to be in tight-knit communities. Like, my family, my last name, where I come from in Scotland, the clan system, something like that, right? My family was a very prominent, my last name was a very, very prominent, powerful clan that fought alongside of William Wallace and Robert the Bruce and all of these people, right? And they were one of the most powerful clans in Scotland during their time. Very, very, very powerful, a lot of land ownership. And having all those different clan systems is kind of what we need to do now, but except we need to be able to work with one another and not use it to, I'm going to take your land, I'm going to take your castle. No, fuck all that low consciousness shit. This whole idea that we need hundreds of acres each, no. You could have 5 or 10 families with that much, yes. But we don't need one family trying to, I have 100 acres and I have all this cattle. No, you're not going to, how are you going to protect it, right? We need to be working together. So as things progress, as things progress, we're already at 11:59 on the clock, right? But that's the idea, is to try to meet people with a similar mindset and similar values and character and trustworthiness. So you can come together and you can have some sort of fighting chance, some sort of comfort in knowing that you're next to people that you can trust. Because what they did by flooding all of Western civilization with this is they destroyed trust, they destroyed community, they destroyed peace. Look what happened in Germany the other day at that Christian Christmas market, whatever. You had all of these Muslims storm it, and they're burning Christian churches all over the world, screaming fucking Allahu Akbar and all this shit, right? There's no trust, there's no community, there's no safety. So as things get worse, we're going to have to find a way for those of us that truly have done the work to become strong, moral men and women that care about freedom to come together, And my current location, I don't think there's a whole lot of that out here because I'm closer to the West Coast, unfortunately. I'm I'm from the Midwest. I prefer the East Coast. I lived on the East Coast most of my life, but now I'm on the West Coast right now, and there's just not a whole lot of that out here. So maybe, away from the cities, of course, that exists, but I still prefer the East Coast. But, starting meetup groups and just getting to know people so that you can hopefully build some sort of bond with, and you can, who knows, buy a bunch of acres of land and start growing food, even though it's going to get sprayed to shit with the chemtrails, pump wells, all of this stuff that's going to be needed. Because the 15-minute cities are coming. AGI is coming. Just the UBI is coming. So to stay as human as possible is the goal, especially for me. I'm not going to live in this digital fucking enslavement world. I'm just not. I don't know what that means, but I'm not going to be trapped in some 15-minute fucking city. Tell me I can't go out into nature because I might have used too many carbon credits. Fuck you. That world, the fact that those motherfuckers even talk that way, like, what happened to humanity? The things that we allow. We have outright communists and that have taken over this entire world. All forms of government. All Western to Eastern, with outright, yeah, I'm a social democrat. I'm a Democrat. I'm a communist. I'm a conservative. All the fucking same, right? They have all the power, all the wealth, and then we peons have to deal with whatever they say. We're going to block out the sun. We're going to take away this type of food. We're going to give you GMO. We're going to spray your crops. We're going to put this chemical in your water, right? And we just deal with it. We just, okay, I'll just keep going to work. I'll sit in traffic for an hour and a half a day. No problem. It's fucking crazy, the shit that the humanity has allowed. Anyway, to end it, because it is what it is, right? This was just something I need, this more of a rant, more of a righteous indignation, because I'm so sick and fucking tired of hearing people say, oh, at least I'll be gone before it gets too bad. If you think like that and you say those words, just know that you are a grade A bona fide piece of dog shit. That's all you are. Because all that says is you don't care about your family, you don't care about your children, you don't care about your grandchildren, and you don't care about humanity. You don't care about the hand of creation. You don't care about God. You don't care about nature. You don't care about anything but your fucking self when you talk like that. Oh, I don't care. What can I do? I'm just an individual. You know what happens when a lot of individuals say no? These motherfuckers can't do anything about it. But the fact that very few people speak out and say no or right, or do anything, we're dealing with what we're dealing with. I'm literally under a sky of chemicals right now in this dystopian fucking world that we live in. Just know that if that's the way you talk and that's the way you are. And we need, you know what we need to do, and I need to do this myself, but I don't really talk to a whole lot of people in public anymore. But anytime that we hear people talk like that, someone say, oh, at least I'll be dead soon. Let them know, well, okay, that means you've just condemned all of humanity because you don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself. You think you're a good person? You're not. You're a terrible human being. You failed as a human being. You failed God. You failed your spirit because all you've ever cared about was yourself and your comfort. That's it. You failed. So when you die here and when you on your deathbed, just know that you did nothing for your spirit and you did nothing for God and the evolution of consciousness and the growth of spirituality. You did nothing. I'm glad you had a nice car. Glad you went on a few vacations. You did nothing. You failed, sir. You failed, ma'am. You might seem like a nice person. You know, it's the whole video I made of, there's a difference between good and nice. You might be nice, but you failed as a human being. If you don't care about what's going on, you failed. Because you can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. And you have done so. And by trying to do that, you have condemned all of us. And you're a piece of shit for doing that. You are spiritually dead. Anyway, like I said, this is going to be good motivation for the gym. That's for sure. Because I'm fired up, I'm sweating. You know, I mean, they are fucking this weather up hard too, because it's where I am. It should be cold as hell right now. It should be freezing. It's not. I'm sweating right now. It's in the 60s, and it's, what is it, November 9th, November 10th? November 9th, and I'm sweating. Talking about global warming. No. Let's talk about chemtrails. Electrifying chemtrails, shooting them with frequencies and changing the weather, causing rain drought, causing rainstorms, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, causing droughts. Anyway, wherever you are, just know that if you care about what's going on and you talk about it in some form or fashion and you've lived in a way that you've taken part in introspection, that you're a strong moral man or moral woman and you care about shit, you care about your spirit, you care about the spirit of others, if you truly are that type of person, I'm forever grateful, and you are in my heart for that. And it makes me feel good that I know that there's some other human beings out there, some other spiritual beings that actually care, right? So I'm forever grateful for your spirit. I'm forever grateful for what you do and wherever you are. And I love you deeply for that. I love your spirit for that. And you will always be my brother and sister for that. And when I do my little gratitude talks in the morning and I talk to my ancestors and all that stuff, I say thanks for that as well. Because I know that some of you out there are truly amazing human beings that actually care. And I'm forever grateful for that. But we are heavily outnumbered, unfortunately. We are heavily outnumbered, and we have to suffer the same fate as the masses because they don't care. They just don't care. How could you look up and see all this and not ask questions? Anyway, wherever you are, take care of yourself. Try to enjoy yourself as much as possible. Make sure you're challenging yourself. Get in the gym or work out outside, whatever it is. Challenge yourself, push yourself, take care of yourself. And yeah, talk to you soon. Never behind.